The origin of man is a subject that has sparked considerable debate, especially when comparing the biblical account with the ideas proposed by humanistic science. While many Christians have attempted to reconcile these two views, it's important to remember that the biblical doctrine of human origin plays a crucial role in shaping many other foundational Christian teachings. To compromise this teaching would be to weaken other core truths of the faith. The Bible, particularly in Genesis 1 and 2, presents the creation of mankind as a historical event. Genesis is not merely symbolic or poetic, it is a historical narrative that traces the origins of humanity. For example, throughout the Genesis accounts, the phrase, "These are the generations of," marks the start of genealogies, showing that the book intends to describe real history. Jesus and the apostles refer to Genesis in the New Testament, confirming its historical truth. In Matthew 19, Jesus mentions the creation of man and woman, quoting directly from Genesis. Similarly, the Apostle Paul also refers to Genesis in his letters, supporting the idea that these events are not just myths, but part of real history. One of the challenges critics often point out when reading Genesis is the apparent differences between the two creation accounts in chapters 1 and 2. For instance, the order of creation events seems reversed between the two chapters. Genesis 1 mentions the creation of animals before man, while Genesis 2 presents man being formed before the animals. Additionally, the names for God differ. Genesis 1 uses Elohim, while Genesis 2 uses Yahweh. However, these differences do not indicate contradictions. Instead, they show the different emphases of each account. Genesis 1 gives a broad overview of creation, highlighting the grandeur of God's work, while Genesis 2 zooms in on the creation of man and woman and their relationship with God. When we focus on the creation of the first man and woman, Genesis 1:27 tells us that God created mankind in his image, male and female. This speaks to the equality and complementary nature of both genders. Man was not meant to be alone, hence woman was created as a suitable helper for him, showing the interdependence between man and woman. The creation of woman is significant because it shows that she was not created separately, but from man, symbolizing their deep connection. This idea is not one of inferiority or hierarchy, but of mutual reliance and partnership. In Genesis 2:7, we learn that God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed life into him, making him a living being. This act of breathing life into man highlights the unique nature of human beings. While animals were created in other ways, humans received a direct impartation of life from God. This sets mankind apart from all other creatures and signifies the special relationship humans have with God. The creation of woman in Genesis 2:21-22 further emphasizes the complementary nature of the two genders. God took one of Adam's ribs and formed Eve, indicating that man and woman are closely linked yet distinct. The relationship between Adam and Eve is also symbolic of the marital relationship, where two distinct individuals become one, united in purpose and love. The Bible also teaches that all humans, even today, are descended from Adam and Eve. Genesis 3:20 refers to Eve as the mother of all living, reinforcing the idea that all people trace their ancestry back to the first humans created by God. This contrasts sharply with the theory of evolution, which suggests that humans evolved from lower forms of life over millions of years. According to the Bible, mankind's origin is not a random process or the result of chance, but a deliberate act of creation by a loving and purposeful God. In conclusion, the biblical account of the origin of man in Genesis stands in contrast to secular ideas of human evolution. It teaches that man and woman were specially created by God, with distinct roles and a unique relationship with Him. While there may be differences in the way the two Genesis accounts are presented, they are not contradictory but complementary, offering a fuller picture of the creation of humanity. Understanding the biblical teaching on the origin of man is foundational to understanding other aspects of Christian doctrine, from the nature of sin to the need for salvation through Jesus Christ.